3, 2, 1, action!
LinkedIn search engine has personalized solutions for nurses.
No, cut! I need more enthusiasm.
LinkedIn search engine has personalized...
Cut! Do I have to do everything myself? You just say it like this. LinkedIn now has improved the job search experience for nurses. Search by your specialty, the shift you want to work, and the salary that you want to make. Go to linkedin.com/nurses and begin searching today. That's linkedin.com/nurses. Man, that was good. That's a wrap.
There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
There's no place like the Qube. I'm Adell.
And I'm Anna.
And we are AD Productions. Get ready to nod your head and laugh out loud as we bring an unfiltered perspective to Black life in predominantly white spaces. So, welcome to The Head Nod, Season 1, Black Life at a PWI.
Black voices unite. PWI's campus finds strength in the union's light. Boom, 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 boom.
Make me sweat. Get me hotter.
Already.
I want Ryan to use all this tape. Ryan
be so tired of us, I swear. All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to The Head Nod.
Boom, boom, boom,
boom. So today we have a very special guest. We are joined with Kameron Green, my bestie and one of my favorite people in this world. So a little bit about Cam, and I do mean a little bit. He is a channel marketing manager.
A sprinkle.
A sprinkle. He's a channel marketing manager and part-time midnight vigilante from small town Pennsylvania. Welcome, Cam.
I did say that, didn't I? hey. Forgot I wrote that. I was like, midnight what? Midnight what? Oh, yeah.
I be outside.
Just fighting crime. Just fighting crime.
That's just how Cam was feeling that day.
I'm here for it.
But hey, everybody. Thank you for having me on the show. Anna, Adell, really appreciative.
Yay. So we start each episode with asking our guests to tell us who they are, what their school is, and then their school call out.
All right. So my name is Kameron. I come from rural Pennsylvania. So that's a little bit outside of Pittsburgh. It's called Farrell, Pennsylvania. It's when I say rural, it's actually a township, not a town. So we had Amish. It was one of those situations. So before PWI, I was kind of, introduced to a PWI as per where I was living at. Went to Penn State. We are, baby. You're supposed to say it. We are. I said.
I was just. Oh, yeah, true. I was just being good.
Please, Brian, put it in. Oh my God!
You know why? Leave me up there like that.
You know why? Because Anna is so tired of me. That's why I was like, I'm gonna be good today. Okay, we can do it again.
Adell messed it up.
I did not.
Gotta run it back.
Go ahead.
All right. We are.
You gotta say it like you said it.
We are
Penn State.
and there it is. And
I don't know if I'm gonna get a lion comment in today. We'll see how I feel.
You're nifty, yeah.
You know what? Oh, thanks, Cam.
No,
you did it. I didn't have to
because I never throw shade at Drake. I never do that. So yeah.
But yes, I bleed blue and white. I got my my first bachelor's from Penn State. And then I went off to the military. And then after that, couple 8-year stint, I went over to Seattle and got a second bachelor's and also my MBA from Point Park University. Point Park, oh my God, that was Pittsburgh. I did Point Park as well.
You did Point Park. I forgot that.
That's a whole different chapter.
That's a whole different chapter.
So second bachelor's and my MBA was received at Seattle University. And so that is a private Jesuit school here in Seattle. And yeah, so both were very interesting experiences, but I'm blessed through and through. So it's fine.
They don't have a call out at nothing.
I'm be honest with you. So like at a certain age, you know what I'm saying? I'm 36 years old. I was invited to sporting events. You know what I'm saying? I know we're called the Red Hawks. I don't know if you're like, I don't know if you like sporting something out or but he's red. He does like a lot of these things. So I mean,
Okay, cool. I like it. That's gonna be the sound effect.
I would just go to school. I would just go to school and come home. You know what I'm saying? Watch, rinse, repeat. I didn't really go to an athletic event, but yeah, I'm pretty sure there is something.
We'll just take that.
They do like the little Payla bill.
We got the shoulder action happening.
Yeah.
Listen, we always say if you're unsure, we'll just take whatever you make up. And I think that was my favorite one today.
Yo, put one of those little eagle screams over. Like,
No, I like yours way more.
Yeah. I do too. I'll probably go to a game if like they were screaming like that. Like, yeah.
And then they're just gonna look at you like, all right.
But yeah, that's Penn State and also Seattle University. Those are the two PWIs I attended.
So why a PWI?
You know, what's funny, also another PWI, I have two interesting stories about that. So I wanted to go to Temple. Temple was my number one. And to this day, I don't know why I didn't get accepted, but didn't get accepted to Temple. And Penn State came, and also there was a branch of Pitt that was offered. I only applied to 3 schools. And so I just took Penn State, Barron, Erie, and that's pretty much where my story was. But also an interesting fact. So my senior year, I graduated in 2005. My senior year, our school randomly had this mysterious fund to send the students on an HBCU trip. Now, I was kind of sheltered. I didn't really know. I knew that I had Black colleges and universities. I didn't know that was the acronym for that. And so I was like, what's HBCU? And they said, Historic Black Colleges and Universities. Okay, I want to go to that. Now, here's the catch. They went on this trip around the end of April going into May, your senior year. Around that time, you already know where you're going that August.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you right now, we started in Georgia. We made our way up the coast. If they would have started that around the beginning of senior year, I would have went to Hampton. I would have went to Hampton. I fell in love with that campus. I fell in love with the curriculum. I didn't like the fact that freshmen were on a curfew, but it was away from home. So I was down for it to get down. You know what I'm saying? But they provided this trip at the last leg of our senior year. And so you already knew where I was going. And, the tuition was paid for. The FAFSA was already done. You're going to Penn State, So
that was very poor timing. That was on their part.
But I was glad it happened, though. It was the end of the senior year. But I don't know if I would have ever been able to visit, Clark Atlanta, going all the way up to, Howard, Lincoln, So, but that's how Penn State came to fruition. And little old me.
Yay.
Yeah.
So what did you get into on campus other than meeting Adell? Oh, or maybe that's where we start. Where did you and Adell meet? I want the whole story, child. What's the tea?
All right.
You want me to tell it? I'm going to let you tell it.
Go ahead and tell it, please. Please tell it.
They've heard from me. We're going to hear from you.
All righty. All right. So I met Adell and friends. I put friends in italics. I met Adell and friends at our ice cream social freshman year. And so I went in there a little bit by myself. Now, at that time, I was queer, but I wasn't out, and coming from rural Pennsylvania, you don't really have that luxury of, I would say, being creative or living unabashedly true to who you are, let alone in our own community. And so, we were in a rural town, but the majority of people in my town were actually Black. And so you have that with the influence of culture, society, the church, so I hid my sexuality. I remember this kid my freshman year used to call me a homo thug. Now hear me out. I was in trying to do some crazy, I was busting on anybody. Trust me. I was in crazy like that, but I was wearing a lot of Fittits and baggy clothes, Timbs and Forrests. I was trying to hide. until you heard me speak in the mannerisms
that's
and the
thing.
fricatives in my voice, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
He might be like playing hopscotch with the girls.
So what had happened was, like Cam said, we walked around like we started collecting folk and then just trying to find all the people of color. And so we go, me and two girls we had just met, we go in and we see this dude with a fitted on, down, leaned up against the wall, arms crossed.
With my chain down low, down low, down
yo,
low.
who is that though? We was like, ooh, who is that? He a cutie. Okay, let's go say hi. Go up to him. Hey, he look at us and go, hey. We was like, oh, yeah, nah.
Things are not what they appear to be.
Not what they appear to be.
Gonna shine bright like diamonds.
Period.
So that's how Adell and I met, and we like became friends fairly quickly. And we connected on a series of events in our lives. A lot of growth, a lot of mental, a lot of physical, a lot of emotional growth, you know. And since 2005, pretty much, you know, we've been rolling hard in the paint. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. So it's been an experience rolling with my sister, and I'm truly appreciative that I met her that lovely night between the rocky roads and the Fittits, you know. Made it happen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I love that.
So
Love
Anna
that
had
story.
asked, like, what did you get into? So
Okay,
talk
so
about some of the things.
I was semi-active on campus. I was a part of Trigon, which is the Gay Student Alliance group on campus. That was pretty much it. And I did a work study group, a study job. I would show up for like the free events, you know what I'm saying? But mainly I was at some dirty, dingy frat house drinking Natty Light, doing the absolute most, things that I shouldn't have been doing, you know what I'm saying? But I did try to be active because you get bored of that. You know, there's only a couple of times you can just wake up in some beer. But like, I was just, you got to snap back. But no, it wasn't really that active as I should have been. But I would say more or less I was very social. And I had a lot of social groups, and I made sure to, like, you know, stand out and just like get to know people. I was always a social butterfly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us about that, like bouncing from all the different groups. How was that like? What were some adventures you went on?
There's a couple groups of people I was with. Some of them were loners. Some of them were just one group of just those of Asian descent. Some of them were a mixed group. Some of them, they were just, I don't really know how to explain it. I guess at a modicum, I was trying to find a place where I fit in. And so there were so many different intersectionalities where that like crossed of me defining myself and trying to find a group that actually matched those intrinsic needs that I was really seeking, you know? And so some of them were really productive groups. Some of them were destructive decisions. Some of them were like, you know, Adell and the initial group that I was with, pretty chill, pretty fun, you know what I'm saying? All in all, they're all lessons. It was all growth experiences, you know? So I was just on this journey of seeking Cameron, but a lot of external validation with that too. So that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
So you said, you know, what was the thug? What was the term?
Homo thug.
Okay.
Homo thug. So when you was homo thugging it out and weren't sure who you were at the time, how was coming out? So I'm assuming you came out on campus.
Ooh, that's
okay.
What's that story?
So to provide clarity, I was not the most masculine, clearly, but it was more so the appearance that I was trying to put on as per, you know, what would look more masculine or more accepted. The way I came out was, oh my gosh, dare I say that? It was almost like I wouldn't say it was like a witch hunt, you know, but it was, it really made me feel uncomfortable. There's a situation where I didn't really, showing my age, it was a MySpace profile. And at that time, I didn't want to place that I was any sexuality. I would just leave it blank. And sometimes when you don't put anything there, you're leading to an assumption that, you know, you're something other than straight. And there were a couple individuals in our group that pulled up my page. And I remember coming into my dorm after I was at somebody's party. I was coming into my dorm late one night, and I saw a crowd of people surrounding a computer, and it was my MySpace page that was up. And so it was very ostracizing, and it made me feel so I guess, I don't know. It made me feel very uncomfortable, but it did not. I guess I can say that I've been there before, especially coming from rural Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? That it kind of more reaffirmed why I wanted to continue to find a different circle, because I didn't really feel as though I fit in, especially in that specific circle. But after that, I still tried to deny it, or I would say, I'm bisexual. And really, I was really not. I just felt as though that would be more accepted as per, those on campus, or how I felt internally. And it wasn't until I visited a friend at University Park, and he was very feminine. His name is Michael, and he's actually about to finish his PhD program in psychology. And he was very feminine on campus. Nickname was Peaches, from Brooklyn, and he was very aggressive, because there's a lot of people that would try him, but they would soon find out that he was no punk. And so whenever I met him, I was like, so why am I holding back who I am? What is my apprehension to live unabashedly true to who I am, and why should it matter? I'm not in these spaces where these people or these monsters used to, haunt my dreams. Like, why am I giving them that power anymore? So pretty soon the pants got tighter, the shirts became V-necks. That was more so my style, not to associate that with my sexuality. But yeah, I just didn't really care anymore. And I didn't care if anybody else cared either, Exactly. So long story short, because I could talk, but yeah.
Remember, I convinced you to get a mohawk?
Yeah, it was a faux hawk. It was a faux hawk. Yeah. Yes. I had a really, it was a really cute faux hawk though. Like the sides were kind of like a fade. And the top was actually like this, but it was more high, more LMFAO, Kanye West with the, the little glass that had the lines in them. I don't know what it was in the early 2000s. We had some great music, but it was really crappy fashions in the early 2000s. Yeah. Oh my God. But I promise you, I will pop out a velour sweatsuit right now with that faux hawk.
Not the velours.
Yo,
every color.
Jar. Yo.
But no, it was interesting, Anna, because I do remember that and everything that Cam was going through, and that's why I thought it was important for him to still share that, because it's like, I remember when he was telling me, and I was just like, okay, you want to go get some food? Like, remember he was just like standing there like, you don't have anything else to say? I'm like, do you need anything else from me? I'm just here to be your friend and support you. That doesn't impact my, me whatsoever, as long as you're okay. I just want to be here for you. I'm not, whatever, we'll go cruising for guys together. It is what it is. I didn't really... Actually, in a way, I feel like, too, it made me feel like more protective of you, too. I just wanted to make sure that the crazy folk on campus, wasn't doing too much, or wasn't, messing with Kim.
Right.
And, just kind of be a friend and a protector. That really made me want to do that.
Aw, look at you. Yeah.
You know that. Remember the crutches story? You already know.
Well, the crutches story, that's a very interesting one, too. That's a very interesting one, because it was such a strange dynamic. I think it was more so I was just fed up.
Yeah.
I was fed up of, the monotony of the homophobia that I would experience on campus. Mm-hmm. And so, backstory on the crutches story, what she's talking about. So the crutch story means that Adell was on crutches when this happened.
Got it. Thank you. Please set the stage.
But she was still ready. But she was still ready to press somebody. So what happened was, I was coming from the library, and there were a couple guys throwing the football by the student union. And as I'm walking past, because she lived right across from the student union, Perry Hall, right? You're in Perry. And so I was walking to go to her place anyway, and the football falls in front of me. And they're on a hill and it falls in front of me. And so I just keep walking by, and I guess they expected me to throw it back to them. And so they yelled, the gay pejorative, the F word. And I was so fed up. These are two white individuals, two white young men. And so I went to Adele's dorm room. She shared with another friend, Sasha. And I came in and I was just really angry. I was just fed up that this this has continuously been a narrative that has been replaying and playing over and over since my youth. And now I'm in this different chapter, and it's happening again while I'm still trying to find myself and accept my sexuality, on a, I guess, more open level. And I was telling Adell how upset I was. And so she was like, so what are we going to do about it? And I was like,
Well, let's go.
Nah.
Let's go.
She like hops over.
Sure did.
Her crutches.
I was like, where are they? He said outside.
Yeah, they're
like,
outside. And we pressed them. But the thing about that that made me so fed up, which I'm referring to, is that had nothing to do with it being a PWI.
Mm-hmm.
That was just the patriarchy. That was misogyny, because even in my rural township, I experience cultural and racial bias. Yes, I did, through a lens of white supremacy and rednecks. Yes, I did. But I will tell you this, before I knew what the N-word was, I knew what the F-word was. And these are my own community. These are African, Black, African American. This is my own community, made me feel less than. This is also the reason why I was so readily seeking different circles or different people, trying to find certain company while I was at Penn State, because my own community, I always felt ostracized. I to this day, I do not have any Black male friends from Penn State. And that is so disappointing. Did I have those that were friendly? Yeah. Did I have those that tolerated me in their space? Yes. But unfortunately, that patriarchy, it's so
ingrained.
Ingrained in our community. And it's not just that, it's the societal norm. And so these white dudes that did this on campus, I've experienced this my whole life, but I was tired of experiencing it. So it was time for me to learn the word boundaries and what you can and cannot take, you know what I'm saying? So, that was the beginning of another journey whenever I finally started to speak up for myself. Because I had a lot of mouth, I have a very smart mouth, but rarely would I speak up for myself. And so that experience ushered in, a new Cameron that was just tired of the BS. And if I'm tired, what am I going to do about it? So,
yeah.
Well, it sounded like Adell was on some crutches, started hopping down. Now, I want to know what happened when she got down there.
So when she got there, so we pressed these dudes, right? There's a girl that actually came there. And when we were pressing them, I felt so bad because she knew what was going on. She was just like, I'm trying to talk to them. And I was like, yo, like put this in my hands, whatever.
With the crutches.
And
Only
so,
y'all can get it.
Only y'all can get it. Adell was just sitting there with the crutches like this.
Ready.
Just sitting there. And so I walk up the stairs feeling, I guess, reaffirmed. I feel like, yeah, I told them. And I'm like, come on, Adell. She's like, nah, I'm going to sit here for a little while. I'm going to stay here and look at him. And she just stood there. I'm walking up the stairs and she just stayed there just looking at him. I'm like,
sure did.
Yeah.
They picked up their football and they left. You're not going to post up outside of my dorm where my friend is and he was uncomfortable. You're going to leave. And I'm going to just stay here, crutches and all.
Yeah, you know what? That's the true definition of an ally. Someone, and regardless of what intersectionality, gender, class, race, creed, you know what I'm saying, sexuality, people that actually show up and they put in an active effort to show up. It's different to say, oh yeah, I'm an ally. Yeah, I got queer friends. I got, friends that are certain levels of ableism or women or whomever you are. Mm-hmm. But are you there whenever they really need you? Are you putting in that action that proves that you're actually an ally? And Adell did that. She was one of the first. No, you were the first friend to do that ever. I've never had a friend that actually stood up for me at that caliber, and I didn't want anything in return. It wasn't a transactional relationship. It was a reflection of her spirit and our connectivity as friends. And I'm so appreciative. I love the hell out of you.
I love you too. We all coordinated and didn't even know it.
Look at what I'm saying. Right. I missed the memo, y'all. Y'all can't see it, but just know I was not in the text thread.
Well, you here now. You call us after 9 o'clock. It's free, baby. It's free.
So, Cam, did you pledge?
My gosh. So, what's so funny about that? So, I'm just going to be all transparent right now. So, something about my appearance makes people believe that I was very, very, I've stayed on the dean's list a lot. Now, thankfully, with the second bachelor's and receiving my MBA in marketing from Seattle University, I had a 3.8 GPA. But in Penn State, it was very low. It was very low. And to have more transparency, I just didn't have the discipline. I didn't want to live in the library. I'd rather be out seeking external validation or going to some frat house or doing something other than I was supposed to. And so, long story short, my GPA at one point was too low to pledge. It was too low, and that was very embarrassing. And I knew I had to make a shift because before that, I had seen a lot of friends. I've bumped shoulders with a lot of people, good spirits as per like those in good conversations. And then at the time, either on a smoke porch or at some dirty basement party or like walking down the street, and we connect. We see each other, for the turn up, and then they would disappear. Where's so-and-so at? Oh, they had to transfer their academic probation. They were kicked out or something happened. And that was very close to being my story at one point. And so I knew I had to make some changes or I would have been back in rural Pennsylvania eating hog maws. And Lord knows I don't want to do that.
We didn't want that for you. We didn't want that for you. Okay.
I'm proud you was able to get away from that.
I couldn't do that. Not I said the cat. So
no hog maws for you. No.
It was a little too. So I had to make a change. Another growth story. So.
Yeah. And I know, like you said, like you had to make a few changes. So talk a little bit about that journey. I know, maybe share about your major and kind of really figuring out what you wanted to do there.
Ooh, okay, yeah. So initially, I was interested in being a plastic surgeon. I always wanted to be a doctor since I was 5 years old. And I went to Barron and I majored in biology. And I think that, not to talk for anybody but myself, but my approach, my 18, 19-year-old approach to what I wanted to be when I grew up was how society depicts and how they put certain majors and certain occupations on a platform above others. Like, for instance, STEM majors, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. They put those at a higher esteem than the humanities and the arts and communications. And so there was a point when I met Adell at the ice cream social, and everybo's sharing what they're majoring in, and I was like, I'm in biology. And I said, "What's your major?" She said, "Communication." I was like.
He laughed at me, Anna.
I was really laughing right there too. I was actually really laughing.
They went around the room. It was like, "What's your major?" And one was like, "Business." "What's your major?" "International business." "What's your major?" "Biology." "Oh, me too." "What's yours?" I was like, "Communications." He literally like spit out his drink, and like laughed at me. He laughed me out, and I was like, "For real?"
But like I said, I had that mindset. How a lot of people do. Again, focusing on me though. We put certain occupations and majors above others, and we believe that certain ones, like the STEM ones, are better than humanities and in the arts, liberal arts. And it wasn't until again, here comes my GPA story. I had to save my GPA, so I had to drop out of that major. And I was like, you know what? Again, with STEM, I was like, you know what? If I can save you in the operating room, I can save you in the courtroom. So I tried to major in poli-sci. Had no interest in law.
He did that for 2 days, Anna.
I did that for like a breath.
I saw him one day for lunch. He's like, "I'm a poli-sci major." I saw him the next day. He's like, "I dropped that shit." Like the next day.
What? A lobbyist? I don't care about y'all. Like, oh my God. Like, swipe or don't swipe it. I'm done with this. I can't do this right now. And so
one class, 2 hours, I'm out.
Yo, where's Cameron? Tune in next week
psych,
on Dragon Ball Z. What'd you say?
Then you went to psych, right? Next after that.
I did go to psych. Yo, Cameron, man, the growth was serious.
What he went to.
Yo, I was just jumping.
How many did we hit?
I was like, pick me.
I think it was biology, poli-sci, psych, and then I had the last laugh because he comes walking into my communications class, and I'm like, "What are you doing here?
I'm taking over. I'm taking over. That's what I'm taking over. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking over this place." But
I'm gonna sit next to you. Excuse me. I'm like, "Oh no."
You know what's funny about that though, Anna? I still graduated in 2009. I changed my major more than I changed my damn draws, and I still graduated within the 4-year mark. You would have thought, 2007. Nah, it was just, well, I mean, not 7, like 10 or something. But
that's pretty
I graduated
remarkable.
on time. It is
considering
the fact. But the communication came it was very serendipitous how it came. I went to the Division of Undergraduate Studies and I'm crying because I'm like, I'm too tired. This is it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to shuck hay. But I've never done that, but I can do it. But so I went to Division of Undergraduate Studies office, and there's like this very calmly spoken white psychologist, female. She talks like those workers at Michael's at the craft store, like, hello, and welcome to Michael's. How may I help you? We have 50% of all canvases in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those.
Michael's are you going to? But we digress. Okay.
Y'all got a Michael's craft store?
Yeah, but they don't talk like that.
She's saying they don't sound as kind as yours. They might be like, what you want?
Who's cursing you out at Michael's? Who curses you out at Michael's?
Somebody angry.
When a pot comes down. Those my reefs. Hurry up. But she was very softly spoken, and she said, "So what do you like to do?" And I told her what I like to do. I like to talk and do XYZ, yada yada. I was probably very animated when I was saying that, but I was also very emotional. And she just gives me this book, and it's a book on communications, and I'm like, "What the hell is this?" I was like, "I'm not doing that." And so she said, "Just take it home. Just take it home, review it, see how you feel." And so I sat there in my dorm room. Woodhall Hall, very small, low room, but it was a single, so I was okay with it. I'm looking through the pages, and I come across journalism, and I was like, you know what? Let me see what this is about. And I saw that I had a knack for storytelling. I had a knack for communications and strategic communications and connectivity and connecting with people and just being interested in stories. That's what made me so attracted to communication/journalism. And I went there and I fell in love with it and I stayed with it. And I still have a love in journalism. Although I work for a tech company doing marketing now. Textbook marketing is communicating product value to a customer. So I'm still able to utilize that gift of storytelling with my profession now. I wanted to be a news anchor once upon a time, different chapter. That kind of happened and it kind of didn't. But But here we are. So I fell in love with it. Communications. Me and Adell was my little ride or die. We had a little personal companies for each other. Camcom, Dale-com.
Remember our combined one was like Camco? Because it was like half of your name and half of my last name, Camco.
It's a merger like Taco Bell and KFC.
So back to your classes. Once you kind of got locked into your, degree and knowing what you wanted to do, what were classes like for you? What were some of those experiences like?
I remember the one class that I can recall that really reaffirmed that I was in the right major. It was taught by Kimberly Young, and I believe it was just a basic journalism writing course in which we went over the different styles of writing, from broadcast to print to creative. And I remember we had to pick a partner, and we had to go in what she called the beat on the street. You had to go and find a story. And I remember my partner and I, it was in light of Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was coming up. And we went to this homeless shelter. And we went there while they were serving Thanksgiving dinner. And I met some very interesting individuals. And just to hear their stories and to hear where they came from, how it came about. Just the fact that they agreed to sit with me, this 20-year-old undergrad student, and share essentially, how did you end up here? And to hear that was it gave me this feeling of gratitude, humility. It also gave me this realization that we're all one decision away from being there. So no one's better than anybody. I remember writing that paper and I was just in tears in my dorm, just crying as I'm writing it. Because I was so filled with emotion. And because I'm getting chills right now. And because I was so filled with emotion about the person that I had interviewed, it was a creative story. So I was able to add in so much character and add in so much information about the person. And because I was feel so much emotion as per what they told me. I wanted to do their story justice. I wanted to do their voice justice. And I took my time on that story because it meant so much to me to get it put out there. And that's how I knew that I was in the right place. I didn't feel this in cell biology. I didn't feel this in genetics. I didn't feel this in plant biology. You know, I felt this in journalism. I felt this in journalism writing. And it just reaffirmed that I was in the right place. I just need to fine tune some things. So
yeah.
Mhm.
Aw, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
It was a great class. And what
It
I
was.
loved about that professor too is she had a lot of connections with the local newspaper. And so sometimes if your paper was strong enough, she would submit it to the local newspaper and you could get picked up there. So it wasn't just you writing for a class or writing for the school paper. You could get picked up on like the local paper, which I think I had like 2 that got picked up, and it was like, whoa, like to see your print like go
Yeah.
even further. Like it
Yeah.
was super dope.
I got my internship, I think it's WSEE, because of Professor Young, Kimberly Young.
Mhm.
And I was able to,
Yeah.
I remember I had to do a story, I think was it G6 or G5 Summit when it was in Pittsburgh, 2009, I believe. And we took a trip to Pittsburgh, and I had to, I was able to get my little package together for when I did graduate school in Point Park, different story. But that was just an interesting dynamic to be there in the midst of an actual story unfolding, and to see people protesting and seeing, and to pretty much see what a journalist on the street does, how they prep for the story, how they log, how they edit. It was very interesting.
It's dope.
So yeah.
Yay.
I
I'm
love
glad you
it.
found your space in that because
Yeah, it was just I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a journey.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. With over 122 million parts, you can make sure your number one ride or die stays running smoothly. Brake kits, LED headlights, bumpers, whatever your baby needs, eBay Motors has it. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time. Plus, at these prices, you're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
With Uber Reserve, good things come to those who plan ahead. Family vacay? Reserve your ride as soon as you book your flights. To all the planners, now you can reserve your Uber ride up to 90 days in advance. See Uber app for details.
party on at this PWI.
So our first segment is called Rock On, right? But you grew up in PWI spaces, but I'm sure there has to be a song that you didn't know before landing on campus, and then you're like, what y'all saying?
What is this? What is this?
What is this?
You know, there are a couple interesting songs that I've experienced when I was at Penn State. But all in all, I was always a huge mellophile. I've always loved music, and there's so many different genres that with the exception of bluegrass, like all the way from the Baroque era to now, I listen to so much music. I would say that yes,
Yeah.
like the
Wow.
classical, yeah.
You pulled that one out. Okay.
Right? I'm very
with
interested to see what he's about to say because Kim is crazy versed in music. Like he knows like every song.
You know what? I think it was more so a song that got me in the mood. Actually it was. And you know, the song came out in the early 90s. It's a 90s alternative song. It's called Everlong by Foo Fighters. And it's about like 8 measure, like it's like this really awesome guitar intro that gets you excited to go out that night, or it kind of like tells a story. Ain't gonna be this way forever. It's a really good song. It's a really good feel good song, but maybe the lyrics are not supposed to feel good, but it sounds feel good. But I also started to get into Alanis Morissette a lot. Now I knew her more famous song, "You Ought to Know." When she was talking to that one guy from Full House, she cussed him out. Her album that came from Jagged Little Pill, I still play that. I have it on my phone. I have it as a vinyl. Jagged Little Pill is such a profound album by Alanis Morissette that tells a story of pain, of of vulnerability, then transparency, then growth, then acceptance, then self-awareness, and then gratitude. It goes through all these emotions, and it just sends you on this climax of, live and let live, and thankfulness. It's beautiful. Oh, I love Jagged Little Pill. And I was introduced to that entire album in college. Yeah. But I would say Foo Fighters' Everlong was that one song that I wanted to party with. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad you clarified getting in the mood, because I was like, what are you doing? All right.
Foo Fighter mood.
So you're getting in the mood to go out to parties.
That was my more party song. Yeah.
And then what party did you go to? Where'd you go?
I went to a couple frat houses, some house parties that we would have, thrown by our people. You know what I'm saying? Some house parties. Sometimes the bar when I got old enough, but that was pretty much it. Wash, rinse, repeat. Kind of like the same thing, different scenario. So nothing really crazy about the parties, just more so I went by emotion.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be by something I cultivated in like a way that I wanted to feel, and so more than not, I would go to places that were more diverse. And then those times whenever I'm missing my own people, I would go like, hey, who's having a party? And somebody was usually having, like, if not a party, a little get together where, we're all in one space and we're playing our music by us, for us, so yeah.
He right though, and he was always somewhere. We'd be like, where is Cam this week? Where he going? Who is he with? It wasn't even just on our campus. He'd be going to other schools up the road, ride with them in the trunk of their car.
Oh, yeah, I did do that. I did ride in somebody's trunk one time. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Yes,
like
I
not
did.
a typical. It was a truck though, right? Like
a trunk, not the bed of a truck. TRUNK, like next on Lifetime. Cameras in the trunk. It was one of those situations. But
I don't understand, Cam.
I was 19.
I don't understand. How far did we go in this trunk?
He was in there.
It was enough to have a whole conversation with you, right? I was on the phone with Adell.
I'm literally in the door.
I'm a little Verizon chocolate on. I was like, hey, I'm in the trunk of a car.
Exactly. I was like, what? He's like, where are you? I'm like, I'm on campus. I'm like, where are you? Why is it signing? I'm in the trunk of someone's car. I'm like, did you get kidnapped? No, I'm going to a party. What do you mean? Who's partying? Why were there not enough seats? Why did you agree to this? Why did you agree to this?
We had a Dodge Neon, and we had 8 heads in the front. And we had 8 heads in this Dodge Neon. And I was like, I want to come. Yeah, come on. And the dude was like, we only got some room. If you want me in the trunk, you be in the trunk. I was like, I'll be in the trunk.
I was like, okay.
I jump in this truck, and I'm driving, and like they're driving along. I'm like, okay, well, I can still like see, but I can see like the lights, And I call her. I have like this little Verizon chocolate. I slide it up and like, hey.
Guess where I'm at? I'm in the trunk.
Where are you? As if I was in the car. You're in a trunk. Why are you in the trunk?
Oh, man. Thank God for growth. Thank God for growth. No, I'm 36, sorry. I was 19.
You come so
20.
far.
Please.
You come so far.
Thank God for growth.
I asked him when he headed back. I'm like, you rode back in the truck too? Yeah. Was the party worth it? Not at all. So you ain't gonna go to a good party.
Yeah. But it was an experience. We lived to tell it. So, ta-da. I'm grown. I pay bills and whatever right now.
I got so far. You own the car. You're not in the trunk. That's
right.
Growth.
I own a car now. Like, what's going? Look at that.
I never want you in another trunk again, okay?
At all.
Listen,
I was so confused.
We had already come out the closet. We didn't need to be in the trunk.
Listen. From the closet to the trunk.
From the closet to the trunk.
I don't want this for you, Cam. I'm so glad.
That would be a good book, though. From the closet to the trunk. Cameron and other fairy tales. From the closet to the trunk.
People have a lot of questions about that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was confused and concerned. I was like, what? What do you mean? Oh, God.
And here we are.
All right. So our other segment is a little bit different. There's no place like home. 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 So was there ever a moment while you were out there, at Penn State or wherever, and you just were like, I need to go home. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore.
I didn't feel that at Penn State as much. That one incident with the crutches really was like, I'm fed up because I had enough of it from my own community. And to have that from, the white community, I was like, I can't. And I'm just so tired. And you only hit a dog a couple times before it bites your ass. And so it wasn't, however, in that chapter, Penn State from 2005, 2009. It was here in Seattle. Rather, it was the more so not my second bachelor's, but whenever I got my MBA in marketing, when I was in business school, it was a different dynamic. And I would like to share this with you too, because I thought about this before we started filming for the show, taping, sorry. So again, me being from rural Pennsylvania and seeing racism through a traditional lens, cultural bias through a traditional lens of whiteness. Coming to Seattle, the biggest culture shock, and not just in my workspace, my apartment building where I live at in Seattle, but especially in business school. What I started to see is that, for instance, have I received cultural and racial bias from white people in Seattle? Yes, I have, most definitely. But the majority of that bias that I received were not from white people. They were from other communities of color. And that's what shocked me here, coming into Seattle, not to put anybody on blast and not to shame any cultures or ethnicities, but I will say the two biggest populations in Seattle are the Caucasian race and Asians. And a number of individuals from Asian backgrounds, they would go out of their way to show some type of cultural or racial bias. And I had received a lot of that in business school. A lot of the assumptions that you're not the subject matter expert in business school unless you're a white or Asian man in the room. And if you're in a group setting, the tension and the bias that you receive before they actually see productivity, disregarding if you have a 4.0, disregarding if you had a 3.8 like myself, the fact that before they saw a grade point average, before they saw a resume, degrees from whatever school, they saw this. And based off of that, they made an assumption that sometimes was stronger than me receiving it from white people. That's what was shocking. To see other individuals from communities of color, but different communities, but still communities of color, operate with that same bias. That was ridiculous. And it got to the point in business school where I was like, you know what? This chapter is already so stressful. And it was a lot of imposter syndrome at the beginning of business school. It was a lot of Cameron versus Cameron at the beginning of business school. And then on top of that, you have this bias coming from other communities of color. It was really hard. And I had to really dig deep in myself and remind myself, why did I begin? What do I hope to gain from this? Who's rooting for you, if not yourself? There was a lot of times where I felt isolated in this sense, but sometimes I noticed that isolated was necessary for my personal growth. And I had to learn to let people be who they are. Even if who you are is a shitty person, you're still being who you are and to allow them to be. And so I still received that bias from this PWI in Seattle, but I learned to have enough emotional intelligence to just let it go and to let it be. So I went on a tangent with that.
Oh, but that was good and necessary because there was a lot too, and it's worth noting you went through all that during COVID too. So
yes, most definitely.
That's another layer to it, you know.
Mm-hmm. And then how much we do eat, right? And so people they get all up in arms like, why are you always so mad, child? You don't have any idea how many times I didn't held my tongue the last
that part.
Yes.
X and X amount of time, right?
Yes.
You caught me on a bad day.
Exactly.
And now you about to catch it, you right? Because you're just constantly dealing with microaggressions. And we're living in a time now where we got a whole bunch of northern racists. Okay, people who got just
Most
good at hiding their racism, right? Mm-hmm. I ain't mad at the southern racists. Please just tell me. Okay, I can stay over here. You can stay over there. All right.
You know what? I said that before. Yeah. Like you said you went to school in Iowa.
Yeah, I went to Iowa. I went to Drake in Iowa.
So I'm pretty sure that you understand what I'm saying whenever I say this. At least in the South, I know where I stand with you.
Right.
Whether you call me a N-word or whatever, unfortunately, I know where I stand. Over here, they don't want to lose their job. They're very smart. They're very
Right.
smart. So you're going to get that passive aggression. You're going to get that microaggression. They'll even invite you to the cookout and let you kiss the baby and still not mess with you. They're very clever about their passive aggressiveness in certain areas like, Iowa or the Pacific Northwest. And it was a strange dichotomy. It was a strange culture shock. Yeah.
Because it shows up in the policies. It shows up in how you treat me. It shows up in all the ways that are not tangible that someone can maybe hold on to.
Yeah.
But if you're a person of color, you know what it feels like.
Exactly.
You know what it looks like. And for so many people, especially when you are 18, 19 years old, you don't have the language on how to describe it. Right.
But
you just know it don't feel right.
Exactly.
You just know there's something there, and I know you don't like me. There's something about me that you do not click with. Yeah.
That's
and it's crazy because I remember back to your earlier days of writing for the newspaper. I remember writing an article for the school about like that passive aggressive energy that sometimes it gets so ingrained that you start questioning yourself, like, and questioning everything. Like, this dude just let the door close and didn't hold it for me. Is he got some subtle undertone racial stuff, or am I in my head at this point? Because it can be so many different things at play that makes you start second guessing and questioning everything. And that's because it's like you said, and it's there, but it's not like blatant. It's like the subtleties, the little things that add up. So yeah, that was very, very true.
People have grown so clever with their racism, and it's so ingrained in just daily activity. It could be something as small as somebody not opening the door for you. It could be something as small as somebody, like I said, following around the store, or coming to your table again and ask, is everything okay here? Yes, everything's okay.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, it was an experience, but blessings all through and through. I say that.
You say that, and family with his eyes closed. Okay, he even said a little prayer. Okay, blessing through. Get you through the moment.
It's growth. This is a journey. Yeah,
it is a journey. It is all of those things.
Your brain needs support, and new Ollie Brainy Chews are a delightful way to take care of your cognitive health. Made with scientifically backed ingredients like Thai ginger, L-theanine, and caffeine, Brainy Chews support healthy brain function and help you find your focus, stay chill, or get energized. Be kind to your mind and get these nootropic chews at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This episode is brought to you by the all-new 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander. Being the parent in charge of the neighborhood carpool can be intimidating. With the 2024 Grand Highlander's more spacious third row, you can be confident of the space you're in. Confident enough to handle 5 kids, even if you don't understand when they say things like W-Riz. Learn more at exploresctoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
I have a question. How did you know?
How did you know?
We want to know that moment that you knew you went to the right school. Like this was the right choice. We know Temple didn't work out. We know you wanted to go there. They was late on the HBCU train. Okay.
Super late.
Yes,
okay.
they were.
All right. Hampton was going to be the one. All right.
Hampton was going to be
it. But you landed at Penn State. And how did you know that was the place? Was there a moment where you're like, I'm in the right spot?
I believe there were 2 moments. One, when I started to get more serious about my journalism classes and how to be a good writer and how to be a good storyteller. And when I would get I'll be reaffirmed when I would get a grade back that's like an A or like, a top grade in the class or whatever creative direction I took on a story or a spin, she would reference that in class. I'm like, okay, well, I'm at the right school. And also because I found Adell. And Adell reaffirmed with me what a true friend is, And I was so upset that Adell was graduating before me, but I changed my my major like so many freaking times, so it made sense. Yeah. But Adell made me feel so welcome. And she made me feel that I didn't have to be ashamed of being who I were, rather than changing my major or coming out as queer. And that continued throughout our progression as friends. It started at Penn State, and it made me feel good as per the reason why I I attended this school, but then, after that, and when I was in Pittsburgh, and when I went to the military, and I told her I wanted to go to the military. And then when I told her I wanted to actually leave the military, and then drive to Seattle and MBA, there are so many different chapters where Adell has reaffirmed that, if I hadn't went to Penn State, I don't know if I would ever met Adell. So I'm really appreciative of that.
Thank you, Frank.
Yeah. So it was friendship, and it was also, I guess, professional growth at PSU that made me feel like, I chose the right school. So
yeah,
provide a sense of community for me. Yeah.
Yes. I would say that community is key. Like even going home and coming back and having folk that just get it and understand where you are and like what you're feeling. And like, even when I went through my own journeys and like I moved off campus and Cam would come and visit me off campus, just kind of going through a lot of those journeys and just kind of figuring ourselves out, man. And just having someone with you who like gets it. Like you look across the room and you're laughing and they're laughing with you and you're like, we're not even talking, but we understand. Like
it's those looks. Like Black people got those looks where you're like, we could tell a whole damn story. just a look at you like, Yo, what she talking about right now? Yo, she crazy.
And having that person in class too, because remember that time we had to call out the professor for our grades? Remember,
my gosh, yeah. So Adell pressed our professor, that poor lady, and she was a nun too. She
pressed the nun.
I was not alone.
She deserved it though. She was lowballing our grade. She was lowballing our grade, but I didn't think she was gonna do it. And Adell did it, and it was right whenever classes were switching. So we're in the hallway. And there's like a slew of kids behind us walking back and forth. Because we're in the was it the business engineering building? It's called Red C, C, I believe. And the professor, she's just sitting on the bench, and Adell's like towering over her. She's like, I'm just saying.
Not with the hands too, not at the nine.
No, okay.
The lady just sitting there, she's like,
is key because here's what happened.
Don't do that.
They put us in groups. And me and Cam actually didn't think we were going to be grouped together, but she grouped us together, okay? And I think it was like one other person. And we basically had to like give a presentation, like a pitch or something like that. And me and Cam came up with this whole business plan. We came up with like our little logo. We had a slogan, everything. And we gave like a full like 20-minute presentation. It was fire, okay?
We were really good, seriously.
Dude got up there with like a cup and was like, here's my cup, blah, blah, blah. Like they half-assed it. And then grades start rolling in. Yeah. And she gonna tell us we got like a B-.
I think we got a C.
Or a C.
We got a C. It was so
we got
shocking.
Like a low-ass grade. And like, dude who, like one girl literally got up there with like a crumpled piece of paper and like talk for like 2 seconds and like, I'm just like, like nothing really, she didn't serve. So I'm like, hold on. How we get a low grade? We got one of the lowest grades in the class. Mm-hmm. I need an explanation. I need to know why. Because I deserve an A. Okay? Like we were up late nights. We had a whole slide. We had actual like little products we had created. Yeah. Like we did a bunch of stuff.
We did a really good job. It was I would say, I worked really hard on that project.
Yeah. And so when Cam saw his grade first and then I got mine, I was like, hold on, something. I need an explanation because it wasn't anything offered. She just, they have like different lines and you put the number there, what it adds up to. And I'm like, this isn't serving. How does a girl who came with a balled up piece of paper get like a 90 on like the physical thing that she brought in? Like that makes no sense. So I was like, Kim was like, we should talk to her. I'm like, all right. And then she went and sat to eat her lunch. And I'm like, I don't care that it's lunchtime. I got class. I'm not walking back to the Red Sea. It's far from everything. We better go talk to her right now. I got time. And then when I was like, hey, can we talk to you about our grades? She was like, yeah, we could talk right here. And I was like, okay. I just need to understand why we got a C. And like the first thing out of her mouth was like, the report was incomplete. And I was like, what do you mean?
No.
Tell me where it was incomplete.
I remember that.
Because did you not bring all the paperwork home? And so then like after we and she said something like that didn't sit well with me, my spirit. So yeah, I did clap a little bit. But she understood what I was saying after.
And then the grade changed.
The grade changed because what ended up happening.
It wasn't an A though. She didn't give us an A, I don't think. I don't remember.
I got an A. I don't know when my grade went to an A.
Cam got left behind.
No, because remember, Cam, You got an A because remember she acknowledged what happened, and then she took our paper home and she misplaced. Remember, Cam, like the second half of our write up. Remember,
I remember something about soap, like Irish Spring.
No, that's separate. She didn't have our full report. That's that.
Okay.
What he's talking about is because this teacher was weird, okay? Cam thinks she was mad at me because one day she volunteered at like a homeless shelter or something and had all these extra bars of Irish Spring soap. And so she put them in sandwich bags and started passing them out. And I gave mine back. I don't want this soap. I'm allergic. And it's not even in the right package. Soap. Where did this come from?
She said, "You gonna wash up today."
How you gonna give this soap? He said, "I want your free soap."
Give it to the homeless people. Why are you bringing us soap?
You know what she reminds me
at a homeless shelter.
Like, you know what she reminded me of? Anna, you seen Sister Act 1, right?
Oh yeah.
You remember Alma?
Is she?
Remember Alma? Check your battery.
Alma. You went on Alma.
Check your battery.
Alma was lowballing our grades without any real explanation. And Alma was taking soap from the homeless shelter to give to her students. So, yes, I sure did. Why are you bringing me soap? She clearly can't play piano
as well, clearly. I mean, apparently she was lowballing Whoopi Goldberg, too. So that's a different story.
Because Cam gave his soap back, too. But he tried to tell what he did. But it's all right. He definitely tossed that soap back to the lady desk.
Washing it with some dry ass soap. No, I'm good.
Cam made sure to make sure it dropped on her desk as he walked out the class. At least I was like, no, thank you. He was like, clunk. I was like, why you give it back like that?
Swiping or swiping.
Mr. Alma didn't even know what she was getting into.
No, especially when she gave me a C, and I really did that, and they half-assed. But like those types of situations, like, you know, it really told me like stand up for myself because I wasn't even off some like just give me an A just because, but like I needed real answers. When we looked at those other presentations, me and Cam left out that class like, oh yeah, we did that. Like our grade is going to beast out on everybody, and to get the lowest grade in the class, like, and it's just like, you know what? I misplaced your paper. That's you. That got nothing to do with me.
Exactly. It really didn't, because I feel as though it just, here comes that bias that perpetuates through society again. How often do we have to jump 50 steps and other people can just jump one and we still don't make the grade? You know, it's so unfortunate. I'm glad that she was receptive enough to change. Yes.
Seriously.
I said this before. I said, you know what? I used to strive for the confidence of a mediocre white man. But then I'm like, wow, that's still lower than who the hell I am anyway. So why would I even strive for that? You know, I'm still, I can't do that. But yeah, another experience.
Yes.
So many. We are
Penn State.
Look at you.
There we go.
Two T's.
You did it. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
On that
and
note,
she did in little Michael's voice too. We are.
She did.
Anna's
learned so much in this time.
We have acrylics, oils, and pastels. We have pastels on sale today.
And on that note, thank you, Cam, for joining us today.
Adell, awesome. Thank you. Anna, thank you.
Thank you, Cam Cole. Thanks for having me on this show.
Yeah. Oh, stop it. Thank you.
On the Cam Cole show. Thank you for having me.
And good job, you two. This is amazing. The Head Nod is, I love listening to your shows. I love listening to like the connectivity you both have. You have an energy, you have a story, you have a way that you're able to connect with us and we can relate to these stories. Thank you for providing us this platform.
And thank you for that soundbite. Yes.
Okay. Because I didn't hit stop. Okay.
I love that for us. Thank you for giving us that.
No problem.
But no, seriously, thank you.
I love you.
Thanks,
we appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to the Head Nod Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on the Qube app and at DCP Official across social. Family, follow my sis Adell at I am Adell Coleman across all socials.
And follow the coolest to ever do it, Anna DeShawn at Anna DeShawn on all socials.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts. And if you really dig it, leave a rating and a review. Keep nodding your heads with us. Until next time, this is the Head Nod.